All right, so continuing on from the last video, let's run this again, this R Markdown file. Notice I've cleaned it up. I've taken out my leading sentence that I typed and so on. And let's see it knit together and create a PDF document. So you go up here, use the downward pointing arrow and select Knit to PDF. So you'll see it processing in the console, the R Markdown console. And here we get it. So this is just like any PDF document. You can simply scroll through it. You'll notice all of the content that we saw in the HTML is also there. Look at that nice looking table. That looks just like how journals want their tables to look with only horizontal lines. So this is a nice feature because you can print it straight to a PDF or an image file or a Word document for including in a manuscript. I'm going to go ahead and close this. One last, just to show you that you can. We can also knit directly to Word. So remember all the work we have to do in other programming languages to get our output into these commonly used programs such as PDF documents, HTML documents, and Word documents. Here it's very easy. So let me change my view so I can edit the document. Once it's in here, if you notice a mistake, so you can say, you can just edit this on your own. So notice I can take out basic there. All of this is editable just like you are in any other Word document. Notice the graphics are pretty decent. The tables look okay. By the way, if you don't like how that table turns out, you just go straight to the table formats and you can change the design of the table to whatever you want and so on. Okay, so let's close this and let's move on. So I hope that you've been able to run this Markdown file, that you can produce your Word, your PDF, your HTML document from this. Now let's learn how to put it together ourselves. So if you go up here, right here you can go to New Document. If you right click on that downward pointing arrow, there's all kinds of documents you can open, okay, or scripting windows. You can open a regular R scripting window. So you open this up and there's nothing here, okay? But you can start, I can make a comment. There's my comment to remind myself of what I'm doing. I'll just create something really simple. I'm gonna create 100 standard normal random variables. I select all that and there's my histogram of 100 randomly generated normal standard normal variables. Okay, so that's easy. I'm going to get rid of that. We will use this programming environment at times, but right now I want us to focus on the Markdown. So notice we have an option here, the third one. This creates a new R Markdown document. If you select that, it's going to give you some options. You can have default output. If you know you want one and one only, it's great to go ahead and put that in there. You can always switch. So if you select HTML and then you realize, oh, I actually wanted to print to Word, I can show you what to do. Okay, so I'm going to just keep this HTML. I'm going to call this, you can see here we have a title, so I'm going to call it My First R Markdown. Type your name here, so I type Amy, but type yours. Then you can create a document. You can actually easily create a presentation, which I think is great. We're not going to get to Shiny, but this creates applications, which are really great. I use these for teaching in other classes. You can also select from a template, and there's several available. Mosaic gives you, I use this when I teach undergraduate level courses because it has already set up documents. You can check those out if you want. I'm just going to go with this plain old document though. So here I click OK. With my title, my author, I have selected document and HTML. And notice I get all kinds of information in here, okay? So up here, my header has my title, the author name, the date, and that it's gonna be an HTML document. If I just run this right now, so let's just run this. Oh, I do need to save it. Let me save this real quick. So as you save, just find a nice place you want to save. I'm going to call this my first RMD. Now that it's saved, it can run. So this is what comes automatically loaded when you get your first R Markdown document. It's going to just give you some examples of what you can do. Notice right now we have some basic statistics here, oops, and a plot. Okay, so what I usually do when I create my own first document is I go in and I just start editing. For example, you may want to start on your first Lab 1 for R. So you can give a title, Lab 1 for R, and then you can write things to me or comments to yourself in this section. This is my work below for the first lab. Okay, so I just selected their text, got rid of it. Here, the option has the CARS data set automatically loaded. You don't actually want that. And let me show you a little something. I think this is useful. I'm going to get rid of that whole programming chunk, and I'm going to show you. I like to insert whoops, there we go. My own programming chunk. So if you select this first one, insert a new R chunk, then it's just going to give you a blank slate. Okay, so I believe on one of your first tasks, you need to load the package ggplot2. So you can do library or require and load it right there. Then maybe in the next part of the lab, I want you to just maybe take a look at ggplot2. So I can't remember, but let's see what we can do to explore ggplot2. So that's my next header. I'm going to run a demo on ggplot2. Whoop. So again, I think it's notice there's an option here, echo equal false. This will prevent printing of your code. So let's keep that. I'm going to just add a default chunk. Okay, so we can add echo equal false, and I'll show you the difference when we go through. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and save this again, and then we'll go ahead and knit our document. Okay, so there's no demo. Let's open up the help file. Not all packages have demos, so sometimes you have to deal with the help file instead. So I ran the help file. There's some information here that you can get for ggplot2 and some useful links for looking it up. Okay. I need to get you guys using tidyverse too. I've never integrated that into the notes, so I might have to add it later. Let's go ahead. You can, if you want to test something out, you can always copy your code. Whoops. Paste it here. And that came directly from the tidyverse ggplot2 website. And there we've got our beautiful graph. Notice this is the same data set MPG that was in the original demo file for our Markdown. It's just a much better looking plot, because what do we have here? We have the an X and Y scatter plot that is coded according to what type of car it is. So we can see two-seaters car in the kind of reddish hue. Oh, maybe over here. Compact cars with the kind of brownish yellow color, midsize. What is that? Green, and so on. Okay, so make sure you can run this. And then